USCIS just announced a brand new citizenship test. There are more questions, the topics go deeper, and even the way the interview is conducted has changed. That means that if you walk in without having prepared for this version, you are almost guaranteed to fail. So I am going to break down exactly what is new about this test and give you the information that you still need to pass. The first thing that you must know about this new exam is that the number of questions has grown by a lot. For years, applicants studied from a bank of 100 questions and only had to answer 10 questions. Now, USCIS has expanded the study guide to nearly 128 questions, expanding it by almost 30%. And while many of the old questions are the same, almost 1 in 4 questions is brand new. So relying on the 2008 materials will definitely leave you unprepared. The interview has also doubled in size. Instead of answering 10 questions, applicants will now need to answer 20. You still need to score 60% in order to pass the test, but now you must answer right 12 questions instead of 6 questions. That's a lot. The questions themselves are also more demanding. Geography questions and some of the more simpler questions have been taken out. In their place, you will now see more deeper, open-ended questions that were not covered before. And these questions go deeper into American history as well as philosophy. Some examples include questions such as, what is the purpose of the 10th Amendment? Why does each state have 2 senators? Why do U.S. representatives serve shorter terms than U.S. senators? Some questions also now require complete answers. For example, you could get away with naming just one branch of government. Now you must name all 3. And even if there are technically other correct answers, USCIS still expects you to use official answers from their study guide, so you will need to be accurate in your responses. Also, the answers can change. Questions that ask about current leaders, such as the president, speaker of the House, vice president, your state senators, always need to be refreshed to be current with the times. Some also depends on where you live, like the name of your U.S. representative or your state's governor. Those answers will vary from person to person, so you need to know the officials who represent you. Another important change is how the interview will be conducted. The officer will stop the test as soon as you pass or fail the test. If you reach 12 questions correctly, you pass. If you reach 9 incorrect answers, you fail. And if you fail twice, once at your first interview and the second at your reset, your whole application will be denied. Fortunately, there are still some protections built in for older residents. If you're 65 years or older and have been a permanent resident for at least 20 years, you only need to study a specially marked 20 questions. At the interview, you can answer these questions with the language that you are most comfortable with. However, this is not the case for the majority of persons taking the test. But USCIS has already said that this test is just part of a broader overhaul of the entire naturalization program, and we may see English requirement changes in the future. For now, the reading and writing portion remain exactly the same. And finally, here's the piece that most people get confused about. It's not the interview date that will lock in which test you take, but rather the date that you file your N-400. Naturalization interviews usually occur about 5 to 8 months after the date of filing. So that means that if you file your application before October 20th, then you will still be able to take the easier 2008 version. However, if you end up filing on October 20th or afterwards, you will be stuck taking the much harder version. I'll talk more about this in just a moment. Note that USCIS has released a new study guide called One Nation, One People, the USCIS 2025 Civics Test Study Guide. It contains all 128 official questions and answers. I'll include a link to this in the description below. During the transition period, USCIS will keep both the old and the new study guides online. So make sure you select and choose the correct one when studying. So now that you know which version you're going to take, how should you prepare? The very first decision that you must prepare for is when you are going to time your application. If you qualify for citizenship right now and you have all of your documents in order, filing before October 20th means you have an easier time becoming a citizen. But don't rush a sloppy application just to beat the deadline. Mistakes can cause delays. If you're eligible and ready, it's worth it to file now. If you are not, it's better to take a few extra months to prepare more accordingly, even if it means facing the new version. Next, be realistic about how much time you will take to prepare. I recommend at least 3 to 6 months of consistent study for the 2025 version of the test, compared to maybe 1 to 2 weeks for the prior one. 30 minutes a day is more effective than cramming everything into a short period of time. And the earlier you start studying, the easier and less stressful it will be. Another tip is to practice in the oral format. Remember, this exam is always spoken out loud, and there are no multiple choice questions or a written portion where you get to select answers. While apps and flashcards are helpful, nothing beats plain old verbal testing. So have someone read the questions to you out loud and have somebody test your verbal responses to the answers in the study guide. This way, you will feel the most comfortable in the manner that matters most during the actual interview. And English skills matter too. Even though the English portion has not yet changed, stronger English will help you understand the civics test better. So practice reading civics vocabulary, watch English news, and have conversations in English whenever possible. Finally, review your N400 carefully before your interview. Officers don't just test civics, they go line by line through your application. And inconsistent answers and misunderstandings about the security questions can cause you delays. And if your case is complex, you have had long trips or multiple trips abroad, you have complex criminal history or other issues, I highly recommend not only having an attorney help you prepare your application, but also help you prepare for and attend the interview with you. It can make a big difference if tough questions come up. My name is Moumita Rahman, and I have been practicing immigration law for the past 15 years. If you would like our help on your immigration case, call us for a case evaluation at 212-248-7907. Even though I'm based in New York, we work with clients all over the United States in all 50 states. So you've now just seen exactly how tough the new citizenship test is going to be. But remember, passing the test is just one part of the process. The real challenge actually comes up during the interview, where most people can get tripped up. I made another video that shows you exactly how to get through it. I explain what officers are really looking for, the biggest mistakes that can cost you, and how to walk in fully prepared. Don't risk finding out the hard way. Click here to watch that video next, and I'll see you there.